Thomas Tam McGraw, born in 1952 in Lennoxtown, Stirlingshire. At an early age, he became involved in criminal activity, including shoplifting and burglary. He was involved in setting up the small Barl team, based around the Barlanark area of Glasgow and specializing in armed robbery. McGraw and his gang would rob post offices throughout Scotland, eventually becoming one of the most wanted criminals in the country. He managed to evade police for some time before being arrested in a failed robbery of a social club outside Glasgow. However, given the circumstance of his arrest, there was speculation that McGraw may have been a police informant for the Serious Crime Squad, supplying information on associates in exchange for police protection from his own illegal activities. The charges were dropped and McGraw was released the morning after his arrest. In 1978, he was also tried and acquitted for the attempted murder of a police officer. During the early 1980s, he began expanding his criminal operations, becoming involved in the heroin drug trade, and when business was thriving, McGraw started purchasing nightclubs and pubs. Paul Ferris, a rival Glasgow organized crime figure, claimed in his autobiography that McGraw became involved in dealing heroin due to his connections to corrupt police officers, receiving confiscated drugs which he sold on the streets. McGraw identified as a figure involved in the Glasgow Ice Cream Wars in 1984. McGraw was attempting to expand his own ice cream van business and had been known to use violence and intimidation to secure the most lucrative rounds for himself. In 1998, he was arrested for drug smuggling. While several of his associates were convicted, McGraw once again walked away uncharged. In 2002, he was attacked by unidentified assailants less than a mile from his East End home and stabbed several times, suffering wounds to his arms, wrists, and buttocks. Protected by a bulletproof vest, he received only minor injuries. During this time, with imported bodyguards from Ireland as well as surveillance by the Serious Crime Squad, McGraw was one of the most heavily protected criminals in the city. He later reportedly brokered a deal with Ferris, paying him £2 million to keep the peace. In the last few years after Ferris was freed from prison, McGraw was said to be spending more time in his villa abroad, with a few of his henchmen. On July 30, 2007, Tam Mcgraw died of a suspected heart attack at his home in Mount Vernon, Glasgow at the age of 55.